Alrighty, guys, let's get back into it. Today, we have a full session lined up. First off, we're going to take a look at the market, see what's going on, what's moving across Bitcoin, Solana, and a few key meme coins that I'd like to take a look at. After that, we're going to dive into my bookmarks, take a look at all the stuff that I've been looking at, that I saved, articles, insights, unpack all of that stuff live here together. And if you guys ever want to be a guest on the show, you want to come up and join in the conversation, you're always more than welcome to do so. I always offer that to people. You simply can just rock your PFP, or you could, have your camera out just like this. It's completely up to you. But it's always welcome for people to join into the conversation. And I do have some shows that we typically had scheduled. Kind of took a break from things, and we're going to get back to that and get the content pumping. But a little bit more of a direction, a little bit more focus as far as Solana Made Simple and what we're doing in the ecosystem here. One of the main things I've been doing consistently is making deposits and taking 10% of everything I make every trade, kind of showing people a way to build wealth or a way to, save money for a bigger purchase or something like that. And so what I'm doing is using this savings account, basically using staking, using the DeFi strategies and different things like that to save for a year from September to September. And then that will be basically the starter, this treasury, the funding that most of Solana Made Simple will need going forward from that. And we'll continue to grow and use different strategies as tools, educational kind of things like that to show people it's possible. You can start from literally $0 in that wallet and grow it over time, discipline, making, habits. And that's why we do the daily dollar deposits at minimum with Lulu and with the other one, Perena. Dive more into stable coins on Solana at another point, but those are huge. If you guys aren't paying attention, tons and tons of liquidity is getting minted into stable coins on Solana. Pay attention to that. Everybody seems to be coming out with their own LST and stablecoin at this point. So that's something as far as a narrative to pay attention to, as far as underlying things. But again, we'll unpack all of that stuff. I'm sure most of the bookmarks have something regarding that and updates, but we also have an art reveal for the Web3 Underdogs project. This was commission piece by Strong with 2 G's. He's one of the master chefs repping the Marinade Master Chef program. And yeah, man, I got the new Apple Pencil. I think it's up there, and got myself a new little keyboard detachable situation, so it can be on the go a little bit more. And I don't know, I just got so much tech shit going on here. The production is going to be off the charts. Finding new ways and more efficient ways to get this done, refining some of the skill sets and the stuff that we got going on here. But anyway, enough about me. We're going to dive into it, do some quick check-ins on what's going on as far as Zeus Network, Scrolly Feed, Marinade Finance, and everything in between. But let's see here. What else we got? Talked about that. And on top of that, we got some content that we just dropped on the channel. Pretty stoked about this. And if you guys don't know, Dean is now an influencer. No, I'm joking. No, he made a video, educational kind of video, showing you how you can put I think it's called the Magic SDK block. You can incorporate that or put that into, somebody sending me a message and I can't find where they're coming from because I got so many screens up here. Nope, that's not it there. An insurance fund supply on Drift. I'm not sure what you're talking about as far as that when that comment comes. But anyway, Dean, he went live on the stream and he recorded, well, I don't know if it was live, but he recorded like a section of how to build a Web3 game. It's a good educational kind of walkthrough. Perfect for builders, gamers, anybody curious about developing on Solana and implementing the tools. This is how we're going to be building out part of the developer capital market vision, growing developer culture, providing tools, making the space more accessible, and cultivating a better space moving forward. So if you're tapped in, if you like what we're talking about, you think other people would be as well, make sure you tag them, let them know that we are live and we're tapping into a couple of these different things here. So let's get into this at the top. And let's see, I want to go take a look at these pages real quick. So let me pull these up and see if I can find out what that message was, because somebody's sending me some shit here. All right. So a lot of cool things kind of getting churned up for as far as Solana Made Simple. We got the main account set up. We're running space from there. We're going to be doing that a little bit more consistently and on a daily basis or a schedule. Working that out this week. That's kind of like why I took a step away, just to kind of see where the best timeframes were. Also going to be, just bottom line executing a little bit better as far as what I've been doing. The side of content, I think it's time. I think we've grown in this space and we've got to a point where I need to update the content, just because the onboarding isn't the exact same. The wallets are like they're similar, but they're not the same. The processes are much more simple, and there's so much more out there. So I'm going to kind of not revamp, but just like update all of the content that I've done before, for the most part, like the onboarding, the educational, basically. So if somebody saw me on the street and they got onboarded, they got a wallet, they got funded with a couple dollars from whatever, I'm doing at that point, I need to make sure that they have somewhere to go back to. So I want to work on the content as far as that. Having Dean, doing the building stuff and the educational stuff really got me kind of like inspired. So shout out to Dean. And that's why you want to have good people around you that are constantly pushing the envelope and trying to take this to that next level, because I think this is going to be a good result as far as what's been going on. I've been very adamant on like executing, like just put it out there, make consistent effort. It doesn't have to be top quality. As long as it's out there and it's good quality, that'll be fine. I'm at a point now where it's like, let's refine the process a little bit. Let's target our execution and structure it a little bit differently. Part of the way you learn how to do these things, guys, is just through experience and taking chances and just learning and point blank period, like just learning a little bit more about what you're doing and the best ways to go about it. Find people that are doing pretty damn good and see if you can take something from that. So let's go ahead and pull this up here. I got Marinades tab up, so we're gonna go ahead and share this page, pull up my stream. All right, share screen. Where are we at? Bam. All right, perfect. So blow this up a little bit here so you guys can see it. Any kind of updates? I know what's going on. We had a space today, kind of went over it, very brief, nothing too kind of crazy going on as far as updates. Like I said, it was only about a 10-minute space right there. But we got, basically, you got to look at it like this. We had the migrate campaign, no success. We brought some Solana over to this, or staking over to this. One of the things we learned about that was that staking is very sticky. What that meaning is, people want to stay where they're at, finding more ways to incentivize. That's kind of the result of that. But people like what's going on, and it's only getting better. It's only growing. We have institutional focus primarily across Solana, not just at Marinade, and getting involved in that now is pretty much where you want to go. And when you have what Marinade has to offer, it's pretty obvious why things are lining up the way that they are, as far as they go as a company, and institutional investors and ETFs, so on and so forth. Seeing that the $2 billion DAT, where they're going to be putting some into Marinade's staking as well, very bullish. So it's just a lot of liquidity. The goal is to always get TVL up. So things are popping off over there. We saw Fabiano, he posted this up as far as 200 LSTs, putting MSOL first with the high APY power SOL decentralization. And that's what we definitely want to see. That's what the SAM marketplace does, the staking auction marketplace that makes it competitive for the validators to get the Solana. Let's see what else we got here. Just some more clips, some more news, podcasts and stuff like that. All-time high as far as LSTs on Solana, past 14 billion. That's a new all-time high. Good things to see there. I'm really paying attention to capital markets over here from Solana. Really cool information and kind of where the pulse of the market is really going. Let's see what else. So that's pretty much everything as far as that. They're going to be in London at the Digital Asset Summit. I think it's Scott Hadley. I think that's his name. Yeah, no, Hadley Stern, not Scott. Hadley Stern. I'm mixing up Scott and the other guy, but I think Scott might be there too. But they'll be talking, and I think there's a partner that's going to be out there in London as well. Should be a good time. But main thing is, guys, like the staking is the best way to like park your soul. It's as simple as that. Solana inherently has what's it called? What is the word? Inflation. So that's going to happen. You're going to lose value on it if you just let it sit there and spot. So if you use liquid staking or native staking with Marinade Finance, definitely doing yourself a little bit of a service there. The other thing about that is you have recipes that are coming up around the corner. Thing about recipes is it's going to give you a little bit more customization as far as your stake and rewards go. You're going to want to, probably build up a good amount because of the amount that will come back as far as rewards to make it really worth the while. In my opinion, I think that it's considered it a way to empower your community to create a buyback mechanism. Off basis, this is a buyback mechanism. This is something where it's going to be setting it up and you automatically are doing this. You don't have to purposely, or, not purposely, you don't have to physically go and do the swaps. It's going to, do that for you as far as the, what's it called? The staking goes. Now, the other part about that is you're going to have different options. You're going to be able to have stable coins essentially as a reward. That's something that I think most people are kind of looking at and finding the best APY as far as the stable coin. You're basically getting income. That's a passive way. So if you have a company and you use that strategy for a DAT, digital asset treasury, and you use the recipes in that degree to get stable coin, you'll be able to basically provide income depending on how much that you put in there. Now, the other thing is if you took that stable coin and supplied that into Camino, Loopscale, or something like that, you're going to be earning more on that. Now, this is what I'm talking about, taking, the everyday person that has a small business but has a good chunk of change. They want to put that into Solana where they're going to, receive the benefit from the upside. Maybe they want to get some Bitcoin. They'll go to BTC Sol. But either way, I think you have ZBTC as a recipe option as well. You'll be able to get your passive reward from staking, protecting your bag. On top of that, taking that and restaking the rewards or finding other options. You're stretching your dollar and making your money work for you as you're working as well. You're constantly adding to this pile and putting more into it. That's how compounding gains work. That's how over 10 to 15 years, you'll be like, damn, this really worked out. And it takes time, but it's not something to really forget about. And I mean, I'm going to beat it in your head till we got everybody staking over here, because it's the best way to really, learn about finance. It's step one. Think of staking as a crypto savings account, especially with, Marinade Finance. It's a great way to go and a good option as far as parking your funds and putting them to work, because they're not just parked anymore. They're actually, working. So let's take a look at Zeus Network. They had some updates with the Bitcoin kit, basically taking anything and putting Bitcoin to use with it. I guess is a very dumbed down approach to explaining that. I made some threads about it, but it's really on the dev side of things. It's not as fun as it sounds when you share it, because it's like, oh, this is great, but like, what does that do? It brings more people, brings more production, developing, all of these kind of things, innovating tools. Like, it puts it to work for real. But it's to build the tools. It's not necessarily like the investment or the restaking or the portal. Like with Zeus Network, it's broken down where you have the portal for BTC-Fi, Apollo BTC portal. That's what you're going to take your native Bitcoin and you're going to actually put it to use, and you're going to mint ZBTC through that. That's a one-to-one equivalent to your BTC. You have ZBTC. Now, the other step is taking that into restaking, and you're going to be able to take your Solana and stake that instead of just like recipes, essentially, where you'll get that other reward. This is going to give you a 5.5% accumulation rate on what you put in there. So during my 10% challenge, that's one of my key goals, is to put as much as I can into this, dividing up my portfolio. But I'm earning passive Bitcoin by just having it sit there, rather than the typical reward and MSOL or so on and so forth. But taking liquid staking, restaking it, putting it to power, getting Bitcoin from that, Zeus makes that possible over here. And to me, that's a hell of a plan. And there's benefits, there's bonuses, there's all types of fun stuff to do there. They also have the Z Pioneers. Let's see if I can see that post. It came out recently. Yeah, so yesterday's Bitcoiners held, move this thing. Today's Bitcoiners earn. Become a Z Pioneer to turn BTC into productive capital. Learn ZBTC DeFi strategies, just like you do by watching this. Access exclusive partner rewards and boosts. That's what I'm talking about right now, and more. I guess that's more. But all Z Pioneers are eligible for the wave 2 of the Bitcoin drop on Solana. If you were there for the first one, it was the first time that you got Bitcoin airdropped into your Solana wallet. Pretty dope stuff, man. Cannot go wrong with getting involved with these guys. They got a crack team, super solid, people, man. Like I've really enjoyed the time being over there in the working group and being part of the team. Looking forward to growing with them. But check it out, guys. If you don't have any exposure to Bitcoin, this is a super simple way to get you set up with a couple clicks today. And they are making it like instant unstaking and all that kind of stuff too. So that was something that came out with the V2 that already might be implemented. But check it out. Do your own research when it comes into it. Best way I would say is to start following the page, join the Z Pioneer community, and get involved with Galaxy Quest because it pays to play when it comes down to these kind of things. Instead of chasing the fucking whatever they are, the Kaido, like do them if you want to, but this one is pretty straightforward. You're going to get some Bitcoin if you participate and you do well. So what other updates? So they had the delegation check-in with 72.67 of the 15 million. Zeus capital is filled. Basically, they are almost 3/4 of the way at their goal. Once that's done, it's closed. That brings more Bitcoin liquidity into Solana. If you want to read more into why it matters, let's just do this and we'll go through the bookmarks later. But I don't know, how long have we been up here doing this? 25 minutes. All right, we got to speed things up. All right, so that's Zeus. Cool shit going on at Zeus. Sorry to cut it short, Zeus. Love you guys. Have fun. I'm going to start rambling if I look at something else that's kind of interesting. Let's move it over to Scrolly. Scrolly is killing it, guys. Having a great time over there. Really, really proud of the team. We hired not all of the interns. We hired 4 interns from the program that we did for 8 weeks. We brought them in, and now I've got myself a marketing team. Literally didn't look at it like that. And after a call today, I realized what we did. But that's what building in public, that's what just taking shots in the dark. And a lot of people may have doubted it, man, but these guys get to say that they're a marketing team for the #1 award-winning Solana Mobile Hackathon, top performing game. Like that's a pretty nice, notch on your belt, little resume filler. I market for Scrolly Feed and DD Gaming Labs. I'm just saying, man, these guys got a full-time gig. So it's cool to see that, and we're only growing from here, and very, very proud of all of the hard work and dedication and them dealing with my shit, because I guarantee you it's probably not the easiest thing or favorite thing to do in the world. But I appreciate you guys, and it's all love. That's how we get through it. But let's see what kind of updates we got. So here's the video I was telling you about. This is the content drop. Learn to build mobile games. There's Dean. I put this together. He did a little bit of the editing. I finished it up and put it full circle and posted this. And now the YouTube channel has Solana content, from meme coins to developing to just strategies for investing. It's exactly what I wanted, and it's coming full circle. If you guys are content creators, you want to start sharing some content on the Solana Made Simple channel, let me know. We can hook it up and start cooking together. You're getting a nice response from this, and that's what you love to see. And here's what's it called? Here's a little mock-up link that I did. We're manifesting some IRL events for Scrolly Feed. If it works out the way I'm looking at things, they'll be sooner than you think. So just keep that for alpha. We got David. He's one of the homies over here that we brought on full time, and he put a nice little post out today. 10K games. I think this is old, but we're a little bit high. Yeah, no, that's what it was. 10K games and 400 hours played in 6 days. So in 1 week, we're doing insane amount of numbers. So grab your Solana Seeker, one of these guys right here. Shout out to Solid. See the bonk case. All right, let's pull this out and So simple as that. Grab Scrolly and get it loaded up. Just like that. And you can scroll through, play the games, check them out. We got the Bonk Classic up there, the hyper casual games over here. You guys get it. Scrolly.games, check it out, guys. But really proud of these guys for all the hard work that they're putting in there, seeing this come together. And it's just the beginning. It's crazy to think there's only like 4 or 5 weeks into the whole entire process. So if you're part of it, man, we cannot thank you enough, man. Thanks for being here. And let's see what else we got cooking. Let me see my notes. I think that's all the updates as far as that goes. Boom, boom, boom. We saw the content drop. That's the walkthrough. All right. Tag a friend. Let them know that we're getting into the next leg of this thing. No, we're just going to be looking at charts. Nothing too crazy. And then we'll do the mint. Or should we do the mint now? Should we do the mint now? Yeah, fuck it. Let's just do the mint now. All right. Got 28 of you guys in here. Let me switch this up so you get the full. Ready? Ready? I'm gonna let's see, pull this up here. Ready? All right, let's do the reveal. This is what the this is the strong underdog. This is a commission piece. I wish I had oh, I know what I want to do. Let me move it back a little bit. Moving a little ahead of myself here. Web3 underdogs. Let's pull this up. Come on, where the fuck is? No. Oh, here we go. All right. So, just a little prep so you guys see what we got to work with here. This is strong GG_soul. This is his lad. He hit me up a couple weeks ago. I started drawing this and I got most of it done. I was ready to mint it out. And unfortunately, my pen stopped working. I thought it was like it needed to be charged. So I kept playing with that. And I was like, maybe the screen's fucked up. I don't know. I kept going through the options and realized it's just a shitty old Apple pen I needed to replace. So I got a new pen. And I put this little film on there that makes it like paper. I highly recommend that if you're an artist. This is not cheating. This is making it like feel more normal. And I'm super excited to continue like creating on the iPad. It's going to bring out some new artwork. But let's get into this real quick, guys. All right, so you see that. Dun, 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 dun. Now let's do the reveal. You ready? Dun, bum, bum, bum. There we go. All right. No. Hold on. Zoom in. You're going the wrong way, cuz. I guess I can't make this bigger. I can make everything else bigger, but not that. Sick. All right. Well, you guys get the idea. This is the second 101. I like this guy a lot. I tried to really make it kind of resemble and make you think Strong's Mad Lad. I put the like one of the things I like about this is, and I'll show you in a second after we get this done, is I'm keeping like one like quality character trait from the PFP that I'm mashing up with this, doing the crossover, and then adding that to this. And he happened to have a hat on it, and I did one for Jersey Bronco, one of the homies, and he had a D-God, and I actually had the trucker cap, so I was able to put that one on there seamlessly and make it look good and tie it in there, so it has a little like you know, pay some respects on that end. And then I just found a cool looking Galaxy skin that looks similar to his right here, so you can see like the crossover. Try to keep some of the similar traits, so I'll put this together so you can see like the actual side by side. But let's go ahead and get this thing minted out and put it on the blockchain, guys. I'll tell you a little bit more about this once we get this thing minted out, or as the process goes through. My goal was to create a collection with this, to be completely honest with you. Like, I wanted to do an entire collection, but time became more of a factor. Please verify everything. Yeah, everything's verified. Yeah, we're good. But I realized that probably was going to be a little use my free mint ticket. I got a free mint ticket. Use my free. Okay, I'll take it. I don't know what that was for, but thank you, Mala. Oh, hold up. All right, so I wanted to do a collection of like I don't know, 100 101s or whatever it was, or 50. And I had ideas, all of this. I wanted to do some IRL things where like you actually got to see these things revealed live, or display them, give discounts to stuff like that. All of that is still like, I guess you call it utility for what the underdogs are going to have. The other thing is I wanted to highlight and help the people in the space that wanted to commission and get an underdog, because sometimes it's hard to this space. So you use your platform to help bring somebody else up and you know, get them to where they need to be. All right, congratulations. We got a new strong underdog minted into Solana's blockchain. Let's go ahead and take a look at this, and I'll get this sent over. Just minted. All right, perfect. Take a look at this. But all right, so here's the thing. I decided not to go and make a collection. I wanted to focus on it and just do this casually. And you can see here's the first one I did. And again, I kept the hat on there. And I just threw some glasses on there, drew the chain, drew a custom sash, and did the whole broken, like, EGOT look. So there's that guy. Pretty dope. I was happy with him. And now we got a Mad Lad Underdog. Pretty sick. I'm happy with him. Give him a little heart, some love over here. This one. All right. And now, since we're here, might as well take a look at the rest of the artwork we got here. So I also had a project, a collection, whatever it was. It was just, me making one-on-one art. It was called Your Bags. Like, your bag's going to make it. It was called Why Bag Me? Your Bag's going to Why Bag Me, I think. Did the ghost kit. I drew this. What's it called? On the iPad. And then I sent it to Shadow, and I was like, yo, send me some paint. I'll go paint this, whatever the case is. And he hooked it up. And I went out, painted this live, made a video. This was a little idea I had called the LSDs, the Little Soul Dogs. And there was Little Soul Devils, because Doodle Devils back in the day. It was like a nod of respect to them, giving me a chance in here. But I made all of the PFPs. They were little red animals or creatures or whatever the case was. We have Void. Main Void. I did some PFPs for him. This is another one I did. Your Scorched Bag, old project. Jelly Time for the Jelly Rascals is a super old one. I forget who this guy was. Did an Uptown Stoner little jammer. Let's take a look at these closer. These are pretty cool. I haven't seen these in a long time. Yeah, you could say I like graffiti a little bit, guys. Yeah, this one's dope. I like this guy a lot. You keep one lit. You got the bricks in the background. Stoner piece, little letters. Man, this is cool. It's been so long since I saw this stuff. When is this? Let's see if we can find a date for this. When did I put this up here? I don't know. Dang, it doesn't tell you? That's wild. Oh, well. All right, what else we got? A couple other PFPs we did. Oh, here's the other Web Tray Underdog. It was his birthday, so I hooked him up another. Again, you guys could see customize these. He had a dog has a dog that has ears that look just like this. He sent me a picture of it, and I put the spots on there, like on his arms and everything like that. But that's another one of them I've done. I forgot about that one. Was minted on here. I hope Trey still has that in his wallet. And then here's another Ghost Kid banner I did back in the day. This one's super simple, but pretty nice and clean. And then another Uptown Stoner banner I did for the homie. I did this for Shark, little Shark Devil. And then I think Bullish has this, maybe. Is it Bullish? Maybe. I forget, but I'm pretty sure somebody got this one. And if I'm not mistaken, it's the same guy that has this, the Bullish. So he had a PFP that looked like this. So I just did a mashup. But all right, we are minted. This thing is live. I'm going to get this sent over to the homie, and we'll go from there. But let's see what time we are at. 38 minutes. Let's switch gears up a little bit, guys. And in the meantime, take a look at this.
I was glued to the charts. Every dip felt like the bottom. Every pump, just the beginning. But it never was. I lost sleep. I lost some soul. Then, I lost myself. Until I didn't. There was another way. I didn't have to chase green candles. I could make my soul work for me. Marinade staking. Instead of betting on meme coins, validators were competing for my stake. Hundreds of them, competing for the highest rewards. But not everyone gets my stake. Only the best earn it. No downtime, no shortcuts. Sam automatically delegates my stake to the top validators. Miss the APY threshold? No stake. Underperform? Bonds protect my rewards. And the best part? It works for both liquid and native staking. It's time to stop playing the game and start stacking wins. Minimize risk, maximize rewards. Marinade Staking.
Doesn't get any more simpler than that, guys. All right. Let me see. Let's switch the camera up. All right. We got Bitcoin up here. We're going to take a look at this. Let me make this post real quick. And all right. That's good to go. Let's take a look at these charts here and wrap this thing up. It won't be long on the charts. Pretty simple stuff. Price go up. We'd love to see it. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. So we've been looking at this. I gave you a couple different ideas of what I thought could happen. Maybe we come back down, we stick to the trend and work our way back up. I said maybe we come up and we touch this top down here, up here, and then we break back down and kind of curl back up after that. That's what we did. It almost did this one. It didn't respect the support and resistance, and it broke back down, unfortunately, right there. But that's what happens, man. You let it play out, and then you play the cards as they lie. You don't jump ahead. You don't try to front run it. You just let it show you what it wants to do. It came back down, so now we know we got to find some support through here. Looks like this line, if I extend this out, something I've been meaning to do during these, so this is a good time. We just pull this bad boy right out here. We start to see, all right, where was this going to be around Thanksgiving? Right here. We have found this point right here would match with this here as far as tops for support. If this comes down and catches right here, if we chop, great. It could come down even further because there is a channel right here to respect relative to, the price action we've recently seen. It doesn't guarantee this will happen. Some of the things that you can look Oh, so I wasn't on the screen the whole time. That's crazy. All right, we'll probably have to go back and look at Bitcoin because I don't think you guys heard anything. Whatever. Anyway, looking at the macro on this, you're looking on the zoomed out. This is the day chart here, the daily. But basically, we have this. We're just waiting for this to fill the gap. This is going to continue to make its move. If this doesn't get on top here and continue trending up, likely going to come back down in this area where we have a lot more just chopping, basically. Because, like, look, all last year, we hit this high and never broke that high again until basically the end of the year. We went up here and then we came right back down into this channel. And then we traded in this channel again, basically just repeating the year, just building, being done, allocate or accumulation, so on and so forth. For the most part, if you look at the big scale of things, you had a nice breakout right here. W could have sent it. We did make the new all-time high, right? Was that the all-time high there? Yeah. We did make the new all-time high there. So what we want to do is we measure this gap. We draw this line from the cup handle. This up here sends us to close to $400. 375 is what we are roughly at, but 3 to 4 or 375 to 400 seems like a good target area. Just seeing this setup and the way it's building up. So we're going to wait for it to get here. We're going to probably see it kick back down into this range in this little channel and then do the cup hand, just repeating these patterns. Cup handle comes back down 50% from that high, runs all the way back up. You just see the practice over and over and over again. If you're playing the dailies, it does change with the momentum. Again, we're not here to like talk about strategies for trading like that. More or less, just kind of looking at what the market's giving us right now. Great time to just be building and accumulating and getting yourself positioned. If you think that Solana looks good here, I would say a 4 to 5x is like where targets are before. I mean, not before anything. I just think that that's where people want to see it go. And I mean, you keep saying that, like 300, then you want to break 420, then you want to break 5, then you just keep moving the targets up. And as institution comes in and as retail starts to get more accumulated with participating, not adoption. I think adoption's out the window now. I think we're adopted enough. I think integrating and utility and participation is like the next area that we want to see Solana. Other chains, other cases, other whatevers. But Solana has everything under one belt, and you're starting to see forks of that with Garbajana and with 00. Very interesting stuff. If you tuned into the call, really, really insightful as far as 00. I would go and listen back to that or try to catch some of the recaps on that one. I'll try to do something and look into it, but I would just say tune in, follow the account, like read what they're posting. They're telling you exactly what's going on. These guys are built to win. I don't think that these guys are going to fumble this. I'll just say that. So if you think the price is low and undervalued, grab yourself a bag of 2Z. All right, so let's go back because I don't know if you guys got the Bitcoin breakdown. All right, let me just hit this because I don't know which one. All right. Sorry about that earlier. If you guys didn't catch that, we'll just run through this real quick. Pretty simple. Nothing crazy going on here. But basically, all I said is that we kind of drew some patterns that we thought this might get to. And it looks like it kind of really did play out the middle one the best. At this point, I was like, all right, we got a couple different options and areas that this could go and travel. I was thinking that we are going to break down and come back down and retest this W area, but it looks like we went all the way up, filled the gap, came down, give yourself a cup handle, retest this little area right here where we have support. If we can bounce from here, looks like we're going to be sending ourselves up to Bitcoin levels of 130 to 170. That's where my targets are at as far as where this could run. I don't think it will stop there. I think that we have a little different type of cycle with liquidity pockets rather than the 4-year cycles we traditionally were kind of charting. We'll see how it plays out over time. It's too soon to tell, but looking at the way that this has performed for the last year and a half, it's been up only. Fucking perfect opportunities to accumulate here. Right now, I wouldn't say it's a great accumulation point, but like dollar cost average here and there. But there also is this level of this might get to a point where it just doesn't really want to come down. There's too many people that are going to hold it at this position. Nobody ever has enough fucking Bitcoin as it is. So I don't know. That's just where I'm at with it. Worst case scenario, if we do have some kind of major sell off, some kind of catastrophic news event, I think we do come back down to the 100 or to the 70K to 80K, probably no lower than that. But that's just like super, super dip opportunity. Crazy to say that now, considering 2 years ago how low we were, but that's where things are at. And the cards are kind of showing us right here. You made a top right here, you broke down, you recovered, you filled that, and then you went up to the next level. You made a top here, you went down, you retested, you broke up. You just keep doing it structurally, and this is a beautiful fucking thing to see. Like, this top is now our strong support, and we broke out, retest, bounce. Looks like we're going to make that. So I'm thinking 130 by Christmas, and after that, 170 going into, April, tax season, all of that kind of stuff. We get stimulus packages and shit like that come out. This shit will go absolutely fucking catastrophically insane. I'm just gonna say that. I don't know if you guys are bullish enough, but that's what it looks like. It's gonna take some really crazy events because of administration, because of what I believe is going on as far as people that are paying attention and getting involved. The amount of capital that comes in from institutional investors is at numbers we've never seen before, obviously, and at rates that are not alarming, but just kind of saying like, hey, we're not in supply control at this point, and we're not going to win that battle. So I do anticipate seeing more and more forks off of predominant chains like Solana, like AVAX, like any fucking chain that has anything with institutional investors that are getting into it, because people aren't going to want to be around that. And I'm saying this is something to consider in like 2 to 3 years, but I believe that is part of the reason that you're starting to see niches kind of break off from the most dominant chains, just like you saw how Bitcoin kind of essentially broke off and all these other altcoins were created. I think the altcoins essentially are going to become so dominant that they're going to have to create other rails for themselves. And that's just my take. That's just my 2 cents. That's me watching these patterns of how these things are developing over time. And we'll play it as it continues to develop on that note. Part of the reason with developer capital markets we are paying attention to this is because I do believe at some point this will, be pretty evident and pretty important information. I think that what we talk about day to day in this space and what we like to do is the curriculum of the future. We are literally the educators by practicing and making the decisions we make. And sometimes when we make mistakes, those are learning opportunities for everybody involved. I've shared most of my biggest losses and mistakes publicly just because I've learned from them, and I share them because other people are going to make them inherently. That's the nature of the beast here. I don't believe that is the underlying way that you should probably onboard and bring people into the space by saying you're going to have to pay your tuition. I think there is a way to safely bring people in here, protect them, and show them these are the rails of security. This is step one. Same thing with a bank account. Banks stress security before they even take your funds, but they'll take them things pretty damn quick. Don't get it twisted. Banks are built to be a revenue generating business. And when you become your own banker, think about how that works out for you. You become your own revenue generating business, essentially, if you start to use the rails of DeFi and the strategies that we bring to the table. I made a video about how you would take $1,000 and how you would break that down. Shockingly enough, a huge chunk of it right off the bat goes to cash, because if everything else fucking fails, you need to have some of that to rely on or to buy the dips. It's simple. Depending on when you get in this market, it might be the right or wrong time. You might make it in one cycle. Likely is you're going to have to spin it for 2 to 3 cycles. That's just the way it goes when it comes down to, trading in the market and getting into crypto. But there's never a bad opportunity. It's just timing that opportunity when it makes the most sense for you, your pockets. And I always tell people getting into this on day one, or if you're experienced and you're not finding that success, restructure your strategies. Go on a disciplined thing where you're just putting something away every single day for 30 days. Use that as your seed fund for whatever that next move is. So if you're not able to do every day, just do every weekend, every paycheck. Take some chunks of that, put it away, do it consistently, showing that you are disciplined, that you can manage your funds. You aren't, someone that needs to be babysat. And I'm not being, smart. I'm being serious. Most people don't understand finance in everyday life. So they work for the week and they pay their bills. They spend some money for, the easy part of life, and to numb it down a little bit. I don't mind that. That's cool. But like, most people don't know what to do with their money when they get it, and they don't have discipline. They don't know how to take control or accountability for it. And if you start to do that, bro, I'm going to tell you right now, your game will change, and you will be one of the big dogs that is talking about where you stake and where you get this passive reward and this income. So let's go ahead and take a look at this now that we got these up here, guys. I promise you we're going to take a look at NFTs, but we only got about 5 minutes. So first things first, we're going to take a look at the Galactic Geckos. I immortalized mine and branded myself behind this gecko. As you guys can see, it got the T. And I'm super pumped about being in here. It was a goal of mine to get here for quite a while, and I quickly scooped up another one. And I'll tell you this, I used this right away as a strategy. NFT lending, you don't hear it being talked about all the time. So when I saw these down here in the low 4s, I bought mine. Look, I bought mine down here at 3.95. One of my purchases is right here, like right at my birthday, maybe even back here, maybe early birthday present. Oh, no. That's what I did. I bought mine down here, and then it dipped even further. So I bought another one, and it's already paid for itself with the price running up. You can see that this move up here. So I basically have a gecko on the house, and that's just the start of this thing, right? So I held that, and I also took that once the price ran up to Sharkify, and I took a loan out on it so I could have capital because there's a 14-day window to pay back that loan. I utilized that loan into some opportunities where I can make some quick money, took the profits on that. Now I've got money sitting on the side. I got some stabled up so I can pay back this loan plus a paycheck that's coming in before the loan expires, because I don't suggest doing this unless you got insurance on the back end. And let me tell you, it worked out like a fucking charm. So if you start to learn these strategies and you rinse and recycle these things, you don't have to get too crazy and technical. You'd literally just learn how to play the game with the tools that you have. NFT lending can be considered or be very comparable to regular DeFi lending. You just have to understand that you might be stuck with that or you might lose it. Whichever way you want to play it, when you have a high-priced NFT like this, you need to understand the risk that is involved, but you also need to see that you have equity now, essentially. Very small equity because it's only a few $1,000s or whatever, but it's a fucking start, and you don't have to gamble all that. Like if you are in a position where you see there's a pre-sale and you're like, you know what, I want to put $100 into it, and you got a chance to do that, why wouldn't you take advantage of that? Because if you 4 or 5x that, you're getting paid from your gecko that's already up in value, and you could probably go reclaim a little bit more of the payout from the loan, increasing it. Still, you'll have to pay that back. But the thing about lending is you have a little bit of leniency here. You can buy more time. You can pay it off early, whatever you need to do. You can let it default if you like to let it default. Hopefully the price goes back down and buy it back down. That's the risk that inherently comes into it. The flip side of this is now that I've got these, I'm going to secure these, do what I got to do. I'm going to start supplying liquidity to the NFTs. Just like I was the person that wanted to borrow, I bet you there's somebody thinking the same way. And I'm not going to lie. I'm hoping that they don't pay it back so I get it for a cheaper price because I want to collect more geckos. But if it's not one part of my faction, you know, I got opportunities to play there as well. Do I want to collect this? Do I want to save it? I'm playing the NFT lending game because I do see that there is a little bit more excitement. I do see that Magic Eden is playing into this. They have a campaign where they just had the boosted NFTs, and it brought a lot of excitement to NFTs in general. We've seen more and more conversations around this whole entire topic. Meerkats, for instance, they're getting an art upgrade with the same art that the geckos are done by. So let's go ahead and take a look at them real quick. And if you wonder why I'm being very specific about this, yes, these are my bags, these are my communities, these are my people, and I'm going to talk about their shit all day fucking long. That's just the way it goes. And they have the Meerkat strategy. This is the OG collection that brought in. No, that can't be a 3 soul floor for 1 Meerkat. That's what? Tell me I'm wrong. Okay. That's an error on Magic Eden then. I thought that said 3 soul, but you can see the cat strategy. You can see that these are being accumulated. The price is slowly going to be running up here. Let it do its thing, man. There's no rush here, but these are the Meerkats. These are one of my favorite collections. They've done a lot for Solana. They're one of the OG collections again, and seeing the excitement from Timon and other people that I know that have been in the space, still eager to see success here. I'm 100% going to be on board and support the best way I can. I've been collecting the all blacks. Looks like somebody, no, it's probably still in there. But like I said, I've been collecting specific ones. I like the traits. That's just my thing. But and do what you got to do, guys. There's opportunity that is available. There's still fun to be had with NFTs. You just got to find your collection. You got to find your right community. And people that have been around the space for long enough know that the people that are still here want to be here for a good reason, and that they're probably bringing value to the space. So get yourself in those circles and you will start to grow. Your network is your net worth. You want to be in position to win. So put yourself in that position. All right, guys, that's enough. That's an hour. Thank you so much for pulling up. This went live on YouTube after we got the stuff that always dings me on what is it called? The copyright infringement. It's nothing illegal. It's like the song, the intro song, all that kind of stuff. So I have to time the stuff right. But solid production. I wanted to make sure I got the same or the right groove of this, trying to make this a little bit more efficient so I can do this daily and it doesn't hold up the production with everything else. Thank you guys for your time. I appreciate you. I'll see you on the timeline. Be safe. Grab a gecko, grab a meerkat, and cheers.